A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. It's episode 10 of the Tinpot podcast, and we are here for a full pre-season preview of all four leagues in the SPFL. We're going to be predicting who we think's finishing first, who's finishing last. We're going to be looking at players to watch. We're going to be discussing who you think's going to be top scorer, things like that. So strap in, because this is set to be a belter. Before we dive in, though, just obviously got to ask how you gents are. Matthew, how's tricks?
Yeah, good mate, good. Been in Poland, had a great time. The most family holiday. Had a lot of pierogies and kielbasa. Some filled to the brim, ready for some Scottish football action.
Yeah, it's not long now until the season kicks off proper. We've had all the Betfred. I keep calling it the Betfred Cup.
What
in my
year
head.
are you in, mate?
The Premier Sports Cup. Yeah, we've had the group stages of that. And it's now time for the leagues to kick off. Andrew, are you just as excited as we are?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, we're going to have to be very conscious not to talk about those League Cup games. But all about the league now. And to be fair, I'm really excited for the league to get going, like on all fronts. So can't wait for it all to properly kick off now.
Yeah, I think we won't waste any more time. We'll just crack on. First of all, looking at League 2. And probably best to start with you, Matthew, to see who you think is going to be the winner of that league to start with. We'll start positive. Who's going to win League 2?
Who's going to win League 2? Based on the League Cup form.
Don't mention the League Cup.
Yeah, well, the form of what I've seen so far, what's been happening, East Kilbride will win the league. A team
East
on the
Kilbride?
up. Yeah, a team
Straight
on the up.
Straight promoted.
Yeah, a team on the up, a team with a bit of financial backing, a team that likes to play nice football. I think they'll win the league. I think it'll be a very competitive league. There's a lot of teams that could realistically win the league, but I think East Kilbride riding high from promotion will continue that with a first place finish.
Fair enough. Straight to the point. And yeah, back-to-back promotions for East Kilbride is what Matt's predicting. I thought along the same lines. I was very impressed with them in the League Cup group stages. Got a big scalp off a Wraith, obviously, and just generally we're playing really good football. And like you say, got good financial backing for that level. I would also say that I think Edinburgh City under McIndo were impressive, and I think could be challenging for that title this season. So it was a toss-up for me between those two. And I'm not going to just pick one to be different to you. I will go with what my gut said before we jumped on this call. And I'll go also East Kilbride. I think it's quite impressive that people associated with that club have been quite publicly saying they're aiming to just boost, like jump straight through all the leagues. It's quite ballsy to say that when you've just entered into League 2. But I've got loads of respect for them coming out and just saying that straight away. So I think they'll finish first. I think Edinburgh City will run them close though. Andrew?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying about Edinburgh City. Like their sort of pre-season was a bit up and down, beating Falkirk and then getting beaten by Dunbar, so wee bit up and down. But it's just hard. It's just hard to see past East Kilbride. I mean, they are bookies' favourites now. I really would have liked to have seen the odds before the League Cup campaign. But they seem to be sort of clearing away as favourites now, and rightfully so. Look, I think they're obviously trying to copy what Kelty Hearts have done, back-to-back promotions, and trying to sort of keep up with them because they're the best team in the leagues. But Nah, but seriously, like, it just shows you, with Kelty sort of double promotions there, and then East Kilbride, I think they'll be hot favourites, obviously, even as the season goes on. I think they'll actually win that league comfortably. I don't think anyone will run them close. And it just shows you the talent that is just sort of kept behind the wall, if you like, under League Two. It's just nice to see a new team break through and just play such refreshing football as well. So I'm excited to watch them this season. I think they'll do very well, and as I said, I think they'll win that league convincingly. Obviously got a decent result against Elgin in the League Cup, which we're not meant to mention, but yeah, you can't really ignore their form. They're looking good, looking really, really strong.
Yeah, I think the Kelty thing is interesting because they had good financial backing when they came up. They did really well to get up into League Two, then to again get straight up into League One where they've stayed. It's about, can a team go that take that next step, because on paper you wouldn't have thought there's too much of a jump to make from League One to Championship, but with the
It's
inclusion then
massive.
of the professional teams in the Championship, the teams that swither between Premiership football and Championship as well,
Yeah.
there's more of a jump there than what meets the eye. And if they do get promoted next year, whether or not they'll be able to go back to back is another story. But for now, the focus is on League Two, obviously.
Yeah, I think like they'll be up in League One, and I think they'll be comfortable in League One. I do. Scottish football, especially, is very strange. In terms of what owners do, how they perform, how responsibly they perform, that kind of thing. So I don't really know too much about the sort of behind the scenes in East Kilbride. Obviously, I know a lot about the coaching staff, and they've obviously been very vocal, and they have a very, very good media presence, just due to the personalities that they've got in there as well. About their ambitions, and it's good to see that. It's good. It's really good to see that. I hope that they do that safely. As in, do it responsibly. And if they do, great. It's good for the league. It applies a fresh standard for teams coming through, and you've got to think about the investment coming into the leagues too. We've had quite a few clubs getting heavy investment from abroad. You look at your Dunfermline, as recent as last season, and look at what their kind of expectations will be sort of coming into this season now that they've got a bit more stability. So it's someone like East Kilbride is just going to be hot on the lips of people wanting to invest in Scottish football. So who knows how far they can go, if it's with the current ownership or if it's with a bit of help externally. They're a good proposition and a really impressive commercial department as well. The amount of business that they've done early, is thoroughly impressive. So they're actually a really well set up team, despite one that's just been promoted. It's not your kind of standard, kind of sort of come together with volunteers and kind of see how you go. They seem like a very, very good official operation for the size of the club. So
Chatting about stadium expansion as well, I think.
Yep.
I heard they're looking at a new 4K seater stadium. They've got the investment for it. So all three of us, hopefully the rest of the episode's a bit more has a bit more debate to it, because we've all unanimously agreed that East Kilbride are winning League Two. But Matthew, who do you think's going down, or not going down, but who's finishing last?
I think Stranraer will finish last. I think.
Oh, bloody hell, Matthew.
What?
We're all going to be in agreement again.
Well, I think Dumbarton with their -5. I think they'll overcome that with the motivation of their owner. He'll sing them to victory and get the players buzzing. I think Stranraer have been, obviously they were in the relegation playoff a couple of years ago against East Kilbride, beating them. It was very close, and last season they finished 8th, and would only have, they would have finished one place lower if Bonnie hadn't got their points deduction. But I think Stranraer have been hovering around that spot for a while. I think this could be their time. I don't think they'll get relegated. I think they'll come 10th. I think they'll come through the playoff.
Not
But yeah,
going to be a defeat in the playoff to Raymond's Brecon, maybe, no?
Fucking Brecon, man. They'll be lucky if they can get top 10 in the Highland League. Shambles. Get him sacked. I'm going the Stranraer bottom. Yeah. Dumbarton.
Stranraer.
Think Dumbarton can make a push for the playoffs? It's -5 too much to ask for. Promotion playoffs, mate. Dumbarton.
I don't think they'll be down in the danger zone, but I do think
It's too much promotion playoffs. Too much for them.
I can't see them pushing. I can't see them pushing downwards, and I can't see them pushing upwards. You know, I think they'll just stay somewhere in the middle. But yeah, Stranraer for me as well. I think they're dead last in that table, unfortunately.
You going Stranraer as well? Jeezy
Yeah.
peeps. Yeah, it's hard to argue against, but I'm maybe using too much heart here overhead. I've been to Stair Park a couple of times, and I was waxing lyrical a couple of weeks ago about their YouTube commentary team on their highlights. So for that reason, and also for football reasons, I'm going to say Clyde, the Bully Wee. I think they'll struggle. Stranraer I can see the case for, but Clyde are playing pretty much they'll be playing every game away from home next season, obviously. Playing at Hamilton's ground. And they're another team that I think have been hovering there or thereabouts for a bit too long. And I was going to say Dumbarton are going to be in that mix at the bottom as well, to be honest. Not because of the points deduction. I think that club's in a wee bit of a mess. That's not a profound statement, obviously. It's stating the obvious, given what's been going on over the last 12 to 18 months. But I would have said they'll be closer to the bottom than they will be the top. But yeah, to summarise, I think Clyde for me will be finishing last. So we've all gone for East Kilbride, and we've got 2 Stranraers and 1 Clyde for last place in League 2.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on then, if we can. Anything else on League 2? Sorry, before we crack on to.
I don't think that we'll see any double promotion from League 2 is my prediction.
Really?
I think
Okay.
that I think the difference. I think the competitiveness in League 1 is going to be too strong for a lot of those that are pushing for promotion. East Kilbride, as I said, I think they'll comfortably win that league and then be pretty comfortable in League 1. But I can't really see anyone else in there causing a League 1 side a huge issue, unless there's some sort of disaster, you know, where someone gets put into administration or something. But nah, can't see it.
Yeah, fair comment. I think Edinburgh City, for me, could be strong enough. But yeah, I see your point. On to League 1 then, and we'll start with Andrew, you this time, for your prediction of who's going to finish top of the crop.
I think Kelty will romp that league. Absolutely romp it. Nah, in all honesty, Inverness are the favourites, and look, they were vocal last season, you know, about, you know, absolutely romping it this season. So they've got to do the business. They really have got to do the business. And I think that if they're struggling, they'll maybe get a bit of an injection in January. I think they're, you know, one of the only teams that would be massively capable of that. So I will say Inverness to go up. However, I do not think it will be as plain sailing as they have said, you know, publicly. I do think that it'll actually be pretty tight. It's a funny League 1, because, you know, obviously I follow Kelty Hearts, and you know, they were riding high first half of the season, and then, you know, second half of the season, you know, just trying to bounce away from the relegation zone. So it's one of them that's just so nip and tuck. Anyone in that league can beat anyone, and from what Inverness have done over the summer, I actually don't really massively think that they'll be running away with that. So I think it'll be tight. Inverness to win though. I'll say that they'll manage to pip a team to the post, whoever it'll be.
Yeah, it's, again, I think Bookie's favourite. We've kind of gone for in League 2 and in League 1 with Cali Thistle. I personally think it's between them and Alloa for me.
You high on an E?
Nah, No, I think Alloa will come good. Hard to see past Cali though, innit? I'm right
They
on the
start
fence.
with a 5 point deduction, so is that going to hamper their title challenge?
Well, you look at, I mean, they obviously had deductions last season and the form that they had in the second half of the season. And obviously we were all, absolutely jacking it to the manager.
Yeah, good guy.
So, it was, I reckon they should be, on paper strong enough. I just, I don't think they should have been necessarily as vocal as they have been. I think should have just kept it kind of quiet and just taken a little bit of pressure off the players. But yeah, I think they'll win.
I suppose other shouts. I'll let you have your prediction in a sec, Matt. I've not really locked in yet. I didn't want to go with another bookie's favourite in Cali. I was thinking Alloa. You've also got Queen of the South. They're going to be thereabouts. You've got to think, and Hamilton will be fairly strong after going down.
Do you think so?
Cove as well. I'm just talking myself out of this. For some reason, I put Alloa forward. I'm going to say Alloa. That's it.
Alloa. I don't know about my prediction. I mean, are Hamilton likely to lose more players before the season starts? I mean, there's currently got Ollie Shaw as their starting striker, and he's incredible for League One, so surely he can't be staying for Hamilton in League One. But
I think a lot of their turmoil is maybe slightly unfinished business as well. So how that'll develop into the second half of the season, that's what sort of dissuaded me from Hamilton.
I'm going to go for Cove Rangers.
I don't disagree with that.
Finished second last season. Paul Hartley knows how to get the job done. They were unlucky in the playoff final. It was a tight game against Airdrie. I think Cove will just have enough to edge a tight title race with East Fife coming second. Come on, East Fife.
What
so
an unbelievably
not first or second.
I mean, that Scott boy. He's good guy, but being favourites for the title weigh heavy on the shoulders of the players. It can always be the way when you're underdogs fighting the power of the man. Pushing down on you. You're against all odds. Yeah, it's much easier to motivate the players, but. See how it goes.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. And Cove would have been my second choice, to be fair. But where do you reckon Inverness will come in the league then if they're not
I think they'll be in the playoffs.
Come first or second?
Playoffs.
It'll be in playoffs, yeah.
Get in the playoffs.
It's incredibly tight though. Those sort of 5 teams that I've mentioned,
it's a good
all realistically have a chance. I think. I know that eyebrows are maybe raised more with Alloa, but the other 4, Cove and Queens, Cali and Hamilton. Yeah, it's
honestly,
hard to
anyone can beat anyone in that league. I watched it week in, week out last season, and it's really, really difficult to predict. Really tough, really tough. And as much as all these predictions are logical, I think it's actually the most difficult league to predict in the whole.
Yeah, I think so.
The whole SPFL, like I really do.
To be fair, we'll come on to the championship in a bit, but that's also incredibly tight.
Exciting though, excitingly tight. With the championship, good quality in there.
It's a good sign, and a few teams possibly have the chance of going up into the Premiership that haven't been there for a long time. So, anyway, League One prediction to finish bottom or prediction to go straight down and get relegated, I suppose. I'll kick us off with this one. For me, it is going to be Montrose. Partly because I think I'd love to see Kelty stay up. I don't want to put their fate into my words, so I'll just avoid saying them. I think they will be bottom half of the table, most likely, Kelty. But hopefully got enough. I think Tam O'Ware's done a great job coming in. Was he player manager to the tail end of last season after Charlie had left?
Yeah, so he stepped in as interim when Michael Tidser left to go to Dunfermline, which was obviously hugely successful. And then he stepped in again when Charlie did his alleged business. But he's obviously a slight insight into Kelty. I have to say Tam O'Ware is hugely impressive. Like, he is He's thoroughly switched on. The feedback he's had from a very high level in Scottish football is impressive. That he's really sort of determined to make a name for himself, and he's been very patient with this appointment. So, being honest, I think Kelty will. I know it sounds biased, but I really do think Kelty will be more pushing towards promotion than they'll be worrying about relegation. Just with seeing how he operates, if you if you hang on to your manager for the whole season, that is as well, because you look at how destructive that was for Kelty last season. Michael Tidser, they were flying high, they were top of the league. And then obviously the appointment of Charlie Mulgrew just absolutely plummeted their fortunes. So I don't think they'll be anywhere near there, but I have to agree, Montrose. I just don't think that. I think
Petrie's got enough. The job he's done at Montrose has been amazing. Do you think it's just run out of steam a bit with him?
I think so. Unfortunately, yes, I do think so. It's not that I don't like Montrose or have a vendetta against them, because I'm an Angus boy and been up there plenty of times myself. But it's I just do think, as you said, they'll just maybe run out of steam a wee bit, and this is maybe their time. Based on their form end of last season and maybe the changes that they've made so far, I just maybe don't think it's enough. But as I said, it's a tight league and anyone can beat anyone. But yeah, I think it'll be Montrose.
I think I was going to sort of finalise my point there about Montrose, is that a bit of an aging squad. I think a really good bit of business was bringing in Craig Whiting on a free from Dunfermline. He is a really, really good level striker. He's, I think, better than League One level, even though he's getting on a wee bit. Got Sean Dillon still playing age 41 at the back, who is more just there really to be a leader in the dressing room, I think. But your favourites normally in a season, you've had East Fife coming up and Peterhead coming up. They'll likely be the favourites to go down. I think Montrose will probably be one of those teams that'll be favourites with them to go down. And I just think the East Fife in Dick Campbell have a bit more resilience. I think Dick Campbell knows how to navigate that a bit better. And I think that Peterhead, maybe it's just now that I'm up in the northeast more often, I'd love to see them stay up, because they've kind of been up and down a few times over the last 10-15 years. And a really tough place to go as well, I think, away to Peterhead.
I think it's the momentum as well, like you get from a couple of promoted sides. It's one of those leagues where you have, you feel the influence of that a lot more than maybe you would feel in the Championship, or you'd maybe feel at the Premiership level. So I think that if you come up from League 2 to League 1 in half decent form, like you're probably going to stay up.
Yeah, that's it. So did you say Montrose as well, Andrew? Is that your prediction for last place?
I did, yeah.
Matthew, any changes?
I'm going to go Stenhouse Muir to finish bottom of the league.
Stenny,
mate.
Interesting.
1 win in their last 9. Towards the end of last season, lost the playoff semi-finals as well. They've lost both their games this season. They're on a downward spiral. I think they're punching above their weight in 3/4 of last season. I mean, the squad's, I don't know, bottom half of this league potentially. I think, I think they'll be bottom of the league. I think they'll continue the losing run, and they'll struggle this season. I think both promoted teams have decent experience within their team, a lot of goals. So I think they'll stay up based on that. I think it'll be Stenny bottom.
Stenny bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Naismith to see the season out, do you think? Or
yeah, I think they'll stick by him. I think
stick by him.
Yeah, they're a League 2 team, mate. Come on.
Fair enough. At least we've got. What you saying?
I was going to say that the title they won like a couple of years back was, I think, the first time they've ever won a league. So they've clearly, they've won the playoffs before. But that was their first ever league title. So I mean, I don't know how long they've been in League 1 for, but yeah, I don't think they'll sack him because he's done a great job. I just think they'll struggle this season. It's quite a strong league. There's a lot of experienced managers and a lot of experienced players. It's gonna be a good league though. It's hard to predict the other spots. I mean, really, could be anyone, could be anywhere, anytime, all the time. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard to
It's
predict.
going to be
We've got
exciting.
three different predictions for first. Andrew going with Cali, I'm going with Alloa, and Matt going with Cove. And then we've got myself and Andrew going for Montrose, and Matt going for Steny to finish bottom. So time will tell. We've got about 9 months or so until we
Yeah.
do a wrap up and see how all these predictions go. Moving on then to the Championship, the second tier of Scottish football, and we thought that one was hard to predict. I mean, Christ, I think this is even tougher for me. Matthew, do you want to kick us off with your prediction for who's going to top that table?
It's one of two teams, and those two teams are Ross County and St Johnstone. It's hard to pick. I'm going to go St Johnstone will win the league. I was Ross County. Now I'm St Johnstone man. I like the cut of their jib. I think the signing of Stevie Mallon could be a game changer. A bit of creativity, a bit of spark, and some good eyebrows as well. So they've got a lot of firepower. They're brought in a lot of strikers and players with championship experience. I'm not too sure about Don Cowie at Ross County. I don't know how good a manager he is. I think St Johnstone have the better manager, so I think they'll win the league. Very close. Maybe even go down to the last game of the season.
Oh, I'd love that.
I'd love that.
So you're thinking it's going to be a title race between the two teams that came down last year?
Yeah,
Simple as that.
I don't think that anyone will come close, really. I think it'll be a pretty clear two-horse race. And yeah, I think St Johnstone will pit County. I mean, who came second? I mean, Ayr were in the playoffs. Thistle, it wasn't really close to Livy and Falkirk. So yeah, I think it'll be the same again this year. Two teams clearly
enough.
at front.
Going for St Johnstone to win the league. Andrew, over to you.
This is going to come as a bit of a shock, but I am going to say Dunfermline are going to win the league.
Yeah,
I think Neil Lennon are. I think his style of football is coming through. He's going to probably further strengthen before that window shuts. You know, they've obviously got a little bit of a cash injection there. I think that it's going to be between Dunfermline and Ayr, in my opinion, which is obviously sounds mental, and I realise that coming out of my mouth, but I said it before. I think St Johnstone will struggle to get playoffs. I really do. I don't think they'll find it as easy as maybe the bookies kind of predict. Ross County, look, they are going to be in there. They're difficult to play against. They're absolutely miles away as well, you know, so they always seem to be able to get a decent result at home. But looking at the teams that are evolving within that championship table, it's down to Ayr and it's down to Dunfermline. I just think with Neil Lennon at the helm at Dunfermline, I think that they'll only get stronger as the season progresses. And so I realise, whilst wearing this shirt, it's a horrible prediction to make, but no, I do think Lenny will come good. So that's my prediction. Dunfermline will go up.
I don't think it's that wild a prediction, if just in my opinion anyway. Dunfermline were one of the teams that got into my sort of shortlist as to when I was going to predict the winners, and I think a lot of that does come from Neil Lennon himself. Like, the squad is obviously good enough, but under the wrong leadership or different leadership, I don't think they'd have a fighting chance.
No, you're right.
With that squad, so it all comes down to him. So yeah, genius really from Dunfermline to get him in whilst they're in the championship. Will he stay? Should they get promoted for another season? I mean, we can debate that this time next year, but
it depends on the ambitions of Dunfermline. And the thing is, I think they are actually quite ambitious, and there's no doubt they're a big side. So you look at, you know, how his career may progress, you know, especially if you look at his CV after leaving Celtic. You know, Dunfermline could be the absolutely perfect appointment for him if they do get promoted, and you know they are remaining fairly ambitious. Then it could be the type of side that, a lot of people are getting excited about Falkirk this season. It could be something very similar.
Yeah, I don't hate the shout. Matt, any thoughts on Dunfermline winning the league?
To quote Vince McMahon's entrance music, no chance. That's what you got. No chance in hell. No, they will not win the league, and they will not get in the playoffs. They will be mid-table fodder.
Is that your bias coming in there, or?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who their signings are. To be fair, like a lot of players from places I've never heard of. I don't know much about Scottish football as we've come to find out. So I don't know. I can't see them winning the league. They look good against Dumbarton. They scored some nice goals. I mean, but if Chris Kane's your main striker, then you're still struggling. Like,
yeah. Well, I can see it happening. I think that's not a bad shout. By way of a dark horse, anyway. I'm going to go another sort of dark horse. I think. Personally, I think County and St Johnstone not struggle. I think that's the wrong word. They'll both be in the playoffs, but I don't think it'll be a title race between those two. I'm going to go for Ayr United under another ex-Celtic players.
Good strikers, powerful team.
Stewardship. Yeah, they've done good business bringing in Liam Dick, Stuart Bannigan. He's done it for years in that level with Thistle. Dom Thomas, I think, as well. He was obviously over in Ireland for a wee bit, but before that, he was consistently good in the Championship. They've retained Jamie Murphy, brought in Curtis Main at the end of last season, brought in Kevin Holt last season as well, in January. So the core of that squad is really, really strong, and I think Scott Brown is really getting the players working for him. The total opposite of Presley. Not to drag his name through the dirt again, but I feel like
he's really motivated.
Got what else they can.
He's got a university degree, mate.
He's doing good stuff at Ayr. Whether or not they can go on to sustain that form over a 36-game season is yet to be seen. But
they've banged in 10 goals in their 2 games.
It was their squad depth that let them down at the end last season. So they seem to have addressed that. I know they've got a lot of experience in there, and that's the worry, because you tend to pick up a few more injuries with the experienced players. But if they just get a wee roll of the dice with the injuries there and things come good, I can't disagree with you. What a start they've had. So impressive. And, as you said, Scott Brown, he's a natural leader. He's, and it's not just that, but he's clearly got the tactical nous as a manager to go on to bigger and better things, down the line. I can't disagree with you. It was between Ayr and Dunfermline for me, and I only went because of Lenny. But taking that away, I think Ayr United have been absolutely stunning.
So we've got a St Johnstone, an Ayr, and a Dunfermline shout for winning the league again. 3 different opinions, which is good. Moving on to the 10th place finish in that league, and again I'll kick off and say, sadly, the Smokies, the Red Lichties, will be going down into League One. I think it was between them and Morton for me, but Billy Davis at Morton is going to be a good appointment. Sadly Arbroath will be going back down. Matthew?
I think Queen's Park will continue their dismal form towards the end of last season and finish rock bottom. As we say, they signed a few players from Dumbarton who were pretty pants last season. They're playing at Lesser Hampden now, I believe, which has not got many fans. The boy pulled out, the main boy who was funding them. So it'll be a struggle. And they've signed a couple of boys from Rovers. They're alright, but nothing special. I can see them just going down and down again and back to League 2 to enjoy life.
Taking the tumble all the way down.
Yeah, I can see it happening for them. Like
Dumbarton.
Yeah. Other than that, you've got obviously Arbroath, who were the League 1 champions last season, and it's always, if they can get their home form in a good position, then they could feasibly stay up. It's always hard to go there with all the wind and whatnot. then you're looking at Morton again, who were mid to bottom half last season. I think Dougie knows his stuff, and they usually have a sort of slow start in the transfers, and then when it comes to the league season, they have a good, strong squad that battle hard and tend to pick up results. So yeah, I think Queen's Park bottom, and I think Arbroath will come ninth, and it'll be quite close. But yeah, Queen's Park.
How the turntables, eh? Queen's Park from the dizzying heights of playoffs. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, they're
yeah.
looking
Looking
Dundee versus Queen's Park in the last game of the season to win the title.
Yeah, looking to get promoted up to the top flight, and now you're saying they're going to be in League 2 in the next couple of years. Jeezy peeps.
Yeah, the experiment is over for the Queen's Park. Get back down to League 2 in front of 200 fans. See you later.
Fair enough. So you've gone for a St Johnstone win and Queen's Park last. Andrew, who's gone down for you?
Well, I think you're both mental to even mention Morton at all. Morton have been such a steady Eddie, and yeah, the appointment of Billy Davis, I think, yeah, I agree. He'll keep things even steadier there. So I don't think they'll be swimming around the bottom at all. I think for me the two teams that came in was Queen's Park and Airdrie. I think Arbroath, will stay up. I think they'll be in the bottom half, but they'll stay up. But you look at Airdrie last season, they only really got away with it because of that points deduction, and otherwise they were in really, really hot water there. So, but looking at Queen's Park, their pre-season has been seriously up and down. I know you can't take too much from that, but it has been. They've had losses to Clyde, they've had losses to Spartans, they've had a draw with Annan. So realistically, for a club that was on the up and up, these are not the types of results that are screaming, we're bouncing back from a big hit last season. I agree with Matthew. I think that they're really going to continue that downwards tumble, unfortunately. And it's a shame because, what a facility they do have at Lesser Hampden. It's an incredible stadium. It's amazing what they've done. Hospitality is insane, and they were starting to build some momentum. So it's a real shame that it's all ended that way with their owner. And unfortunately, I do see them tumbling into League One, and whether they'll tumble again, I don't know. Just because that league is so tight, but I do think that they're looking more like a League One team than they're looking like a Championship team at the moment.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can't disagree. They'll definitely be there or thereabouts, as will Arbroath, as will me and Matthew. Think Morton, you're disagreeing with that
chance.
point. But,
no chance.
Oh, time will tell. We'll see. Cool. Right. Moving on then to the big show, which is the Premiership.
It's a big show.
Teed you up for some WWE nonsense, or is it F then? I can't remember.
It was it was F, and then WCW before that. He was called the Giant.
Always been kicking about for 30 years, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Just start a side pod for this, just all about wrestling for you two.
Oh man, imagine the quizzes on that, Matthew.
Yeah, I'd be fucking shaking them as well, mate.
No, you wouldn't. It'd be incredible.
Who wore a red mask and was his brother the Undertaker? Oh, I don't know.
Kane.
I'm not sure, mate.
That's my only answer I can ever
Is he
give.
Canadian?
A Canadian wrestler with 16 appearances and 0 knockouts.
Bret Hart.
This thing worked.
Bret Hart.
Brett the Hitman Hart. He's from Canada. Yeah.
That's
Yes,
it.
mate.
Owen Hart, R.I.P.
Premiership time. For this, rather than just going winner and last. You alright, Matthew?
Yeah, just pointing at
Praising
Owen
one for
Hart.
one.
Point of contention. Rather than just in first and last, we're going to look at the full 12. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's okay.
Got a bit hot.
You take over.
That's fine. 1 to 12.
God.
No, you
That's right, mate, please.
Owen Hart tribute just hit a bit hard there, I think.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Some
Don't know who
moment
that is.
silence for him.
Right, so we're in 1 to 12, Scottish Premiership. Or 12 to 1. Nah, it's pretty obvious who's going to win the league, so we'll do 12. We'll go start from the obvious Celtic, and then we'll work our way down to who wins the title. What do you reckon?
Good
Will
intro,
we?
mate.
Yep.
That was good, yeah. That was great.
Really energetic, mate. Yeah, that'll get the listeners listening.
Yeah, I suppose we'll fucking do the league
Yes, we're just
prediction, I
talking about
guess.
Scottish football. Don't we have to listen if you want. No, please, over
Yeah.
to you, Tom, the MC of the pod. Please
Thanks, man.
hit me with some razzmatazz.
Time to discuss the Scottish Premiership then, the predictions for 2025-26. And rather than doing just first and last, for this we're going to run through our 1 through 12. Go probably, Andrew, you can do your 1 to 12 first, and then we'll dissect that as we go. Then Matthew, then me. We've also got predictions for who's going to be top scorer in that league, the player to watch as well, and finally the first gaffer to go. So those are the 3 bonus ones after we've gone through our league tables. So
wonder who that'll be.
well, we'll have to wait till the end, won't we? No skipping ahead. Right, yeah. Who's winning the league for you, Andrew?
For me, it's definitely Rangers win the league.
Wrong.
So, nah, they are.
Move on.
They are definitely winning the league. Reasons for that is obviously I'm wearing this shirt, but secondly, I don't know. Look, it is a massive gamble. Obviously, Celtic will be hot favourites. Of course, they will be. But I do think that they have been there for the taking for a wee while, and if things do click at Rangers and the recruitment keeps improving, then I think we've got a really good chance. I do like what Russell Martin's trying to do, so that's my justification. Need a wee bit of luck for that all to come together, but I think it will. I'll be optimistic. But I'll go first with Rangers, second with Celtic, third place I'm gonna say Hearts comfortably. And
Comfortably.
I'm gonna the reasons for that. I think obviously Derek McInnes is a very highly rated manager, but I just think the recruitment that Hearts are doing as well, and the retention of Shankland, Kazirdis, finally learnt his name, is one with really good numbers behind him, and if the recruitment really matches Derek's style of play well, and so far it's looking like that, then I do think that they'll be a really, really difficult team to beat. Also, they've not got the European football to contend with, whether obviously anyone else in the top 6 will as well, after qualification, I don't know. But yeah, I'll go Hearts, third place. Fourth, I'm going to go Hibs. Reason for that is I do think that they'll carry momentum from last season into this season domestically. I think that maybe second half of the season they might find it a wee bit more difficult, like Aberdeen did last season. Maybe not quite as badly as that, but I do think that they'll have a stronger first half than second half. I think they've made some smart signings as well over the course of the summer. So yeah, I think that they'll come fourth. Then Aberdeen, I've got down after that, and then Dundee United, I'm going to say, then sort of creeps into the top 6. So that would leave St Mirren then creeping under the bottom 6, which, to be honest, has only really been influenced by what I've kind of seen of them during the League Cup campaign. Just not as impressed, really, with them. They're not as convincing as I thought they would be. So, otherwise, I reckon I probably would have crept them into that top 6 instead of United. But yeah, I'll say they'll creep under there. Then Killie, then Motherwell, then Falkirk, then Livy, and then Dundee rock bottom. I think obviously Presley is an absolute shambles, and I do think obviously he'll get the sack at some point, but when he does, I still think it'll be salvageable, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my prediction for the 12 in the league.
Interesting. I think when you look at the league, there's 3 debates to be had, which is who's going to win the league, There is kind of a debate around that, I think, between
Surely not
Celtic and
much.
Rangers. Then then it's a debate between, I think, Hearts, Hibs and Aberdeen, isn't it, as to who finishes where between those three. I don't think anyone, I mean, maybe Matt's going to disagree, but I don't think anyone's touching them. And then it's a debate between the bottom three as well. I think, yeah, probably between Falkirk, Livy, Dundee. It's going to be those three teams fighting at the bottom. So before we'd started this, those are the three battles I had in my head, and it's interesting to see that you've kind of got the table that way.
Did you not say Falkirk were going to be top 6 this season? Somebody said in the pod a few episodes ago that they would be top 6. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think I said top 6. No. I was saying they'd had a good start to the window at that point. Perhaps it was Matt.
Must be Matthew then, gibbering shit.
Probably.
But yeah, we'll hear Matt's table now, and then we can have mine, and then have a good old debate.
Okay, ready for this? Okay,
Yeah.
top of the league will be Celtic. At a canter, easy. Rangers nowhere near it.
That's a canter.
Title race is done by like October. Well, Rangers anyway. Second will be Heart of Midlothian. Just because they've got a good manager, strong squad, exciting young players, and tasty foreign signings. Always a good mix. Big Shanks up front, banging them in. Third, I'll give Rangers third spot, squeaking in ahead of Hibs in fourth. David Gray will kick on from a strong second half of last season. Hibs have made some good signings. Big Kieran Bowie Gricori. I'll fire them to fourth spot. Fifth will be the Scottish Cup winners Aberdeen. Again, it could be tight between Hibs and Aberdeen. It could go either way. Again, they've gone down the foreign market for signings. Interesting to see if they can bring in another striker. I see they're trying to get that Dabag guy back. Don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if Nisbet is likely to happen either. That seems a bit of a stretch. I think Motherwell will sneak into the top 6. Only because they've got a foreign manager, and foreign managers sometimes can go either way. This one's going to be a good one, I think, unlike the last one where he's gone. Then St Mirren will have another strong season. They'll be battling. They'll go to the very last day for the split between Motherwell and St Mirren, but Motherwell sneak in, St Mirren just below. Then Kelly. After that, I think Kettlewell, solid. They'll pick up wins at home. And they'll be okay. And then I've gone for Dundee United, who I think will struggle this season. Big squad turnover. I've not heard of any of their players that they've signed. Again, they've gone down the foreign market. I'm like, who are these people? I don't think it'll gel. I think Goodwin will be gone before the season's papped. I think they'll get papped out of Europe after the next round, and they will struggle. I think last season was a fluke, and they'll be back where they belong in the bottom half, fighting off relegation. Livingston then will be below Dundee United. Just the big boys of Livy getting the job done. Martin Dale's good manager, underappreciated because he's got an accent. And then I think it'll be Dundee. We'll finish 11th in the playoffs, with Tony Dock making a shock return to the club in November as manager. He'll turn it around and save them from automatic relegation. And bottom place, sorry Falkirk fans and John McGlynn, although you've had a wonderful 2 seasons getting your lucky promotions, not strengthening that squad, other than Graham and Bain, is bordering on negligent, and they will be rock bottom with maybe like 12 points. They're lucky. And that's the table.
You're fucking mental, mate. That is absolute horseshit, that whole table. Fucking hell. Like, where do I even start with that? Like, fucking Hearts second. Like, you kidding
Someone's
me
got
on?
to split the old firm one of these days. My God, I'm a 35-year-old me. I've never seen it.
This will be
What's
the
that when
fucking
Rangers were
season
used to?
when Rangers have got the most investment they've fucking ever had. Like, absolutely no chance.
This is
like,
a season of
no
transition
way.
for the mighty Rangers,
Nah,
where
no
they're
chance.
working on a new style of play
Yeah.
under
they've had
Russell,
transition after transition. You know what I mean? Like over the last few seasons, like
man, I've got to believe in
it's
something, Andrew. Something's got to happen other than the boring
but
1-2. Come on.
I'm just saying, like you're off your tits there, and also I think Motherwell creeping into the top six. I mean, no, absolutely not. I don't think Asku's shown anything
Nobody asked you,
that's
mate.
that's that's showing that they're going to be a top six side. You know, absolutely not. Like definitely not. I think actually for me he'll struggle. I think he'll not survive the season. And Falkirk coming dead last. I mean, we're talking about Stephen Presley being a manager of a team in the SPFL. Like,
He's gone before the
what?
season's finished, mate. Come on.
I mean, that's the only way that happens.
Tony
like,
Dock is
honestly,
saving them. He's coming back.
Where
no
did you have
chance.
Motherwell, Andrew, in the table?
For Motherwell,
Right,
I had them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. So
Ninth.
I didn't have them in the top six, but I didn't have them bouncing about relegation though. You know, I think that, in my opinion, I think Askew won't last the season, and I think that they'll have someone else in there for the second half. Obviously, wild prediction because there's not a lot to go off there, but I'm just not really seeing anything that adopts. Motherwell don't look like, you know, the animal that they were, you know, and I think they're there for the taking. They're not a scary team at the moment, so whether they'll develop into that, because bearing in mind they did have the biggest turnover in the SPFL over the summer, so fair enough, but will he get enough time to settle if things don't quite gel by Christmas? Is he going to be still in a job? And asking someone at that level to come in and make such a dramatic difference that they're going to get into the top six when you've got teams like St Mirren, who you know, as I said, I didn't predict them to go into the top six, but they'll be creeping about there. I don't think so. I can't see Motherwell going above, well, St Mirren, Dundee United.
I think that position's up for grabs, man. I think
Kilmarnock.
anyone can take the sixth spot, you know? Who can say Motherwell won't have a good season? They've got a couple of exciting strikers up front with long names that I'm not going to try and pronounce, so there you go. It's also the sign of a good player. Can't
Yeah,
pronounce
but
their
you
name.
just said that Dundee United are pish because they've signed players that you can't pronounce as well. So
That boy was at them both the strikers at them last season. They're just starting to gel together as a strike partnership.
not the massive
Who's that?
centre backs that they've signed.
I don't care about defence, me. I'm about attack, son. Get the ball forward, get the ball in the mixer. Come on, let's get 4-4-2. Boom. I think they'll
So
do alright.
who have they got up top then?
Stamas Stapapopoulos, some Australian boy, and Masawanise. There you go.
But that wasn't what they were playing as first choice strikers last season.
No, they both were there last season. Didn't score many goals, but I think they're going to come together well. I think. I mean, someone's got to come to us. It won't be St Mirren this time. They've had their little jaunt with European football in the top six. You know, Dundee United had their one little season after they were riding high off their lucky title win in the Championship. Jim Goodwin is. Come on, man. He's
Right.
a fraud, mate. Come on.
He's not a fraud. He's a good manager. Like he obviously he knows the league inside out. To say Dundee United are not going to be pushing for the mix for top six, you know,
He'll be lucky to
I
stay
think-
off relegation. I mean, I think Goodwin will be sacked before Sir Presley of Stephen.
Well, look at it this way, right? And you've got what's his name, Kettlewell at Kilmarnock, right? Who everyone agreed was on a bit of a sugary pig before he started because of the whole way he left Motherwell, etc. You've got Livingston, who, you know, are always going to be down there in the mix. You know, they've just come up. Falkirk obviously put dead last. Dundee, absolute shit show. You know, and then Askew, who's a complete untested entity. Like, how can you say that Goodwin, especially if the business isn't done in the window, how could you say that Goodwin is a less reliable source than any of those managers?
I don't know. I mean, look what happened to Dundee last time they got in European football. They were relegated the same season. So, I mean, who's to say it can't happen again?
It's a fair point.
We've let you children debate what you think might happen, what's not going to happen. Let me tell you what is going to happen. We'll get the actual league table sorted now. In first place, Celtic. Simple, easy, the clearest pick out of the 12.
Come on.
Rangers won't be close. Celtic, I think it'll be one of their... It's hard to say strongest league performances for Celtic because they're comparing themselves to going unbeaten and getting 106 points under Brenda the first time and having ridiculous seasons under Ange when they're close to 100 points again. So it's hard to say it'll be their best season, but I think they'll be so dominant.
Based on what, though? Like, based on what?
Based on Newcastle, mate.
Based on retaining a lot of their core players from last season and building on that. I think Benjamin Nygren's a brilliant signing from what I've read about him. Not seen him play a lot, but I think Tierney, from a financial perspective, probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think he's a really, really good... He's too good for the Scottish Premiership.
Absolutely.
And they were already... I just don't also see Rangers bridging that gap this season. I agree with Matthew that it's more... Like, yeah, you spent some money, but with a new manager and a lot of money being spent doesn't automatically improve things. I think they will improve over time if he's given that time, but that's just where I see things. I think Celtic.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It's just interesting to ask. I mean, one that's going to be really interesting for Celtic is whether they retain Maeda. Obviously, he seems to be attracting Brentford. I think it is at the moment, which is interesting considering his age and the type of signings Brentford make. But if they keep him and then they've got Nygren in there as well, and possibly sign a proper 9, I think that it'll be bloody difficult to see past them. Yeah.
Then I've got obviously Rangers in second. I think Hearts will be closer to Rangers than a lot of people think. I've got them in third. Unlike you guys, I've gone Aberdeen in fourth. I think Hibs won't have anywhere near as good a season as they did last year, despite the fact that they are in better form in the second half of last season. I don't know what it is. I don't rate their signings in the window as highly as I rate Aberdeen's, and I also think that what Yumi Tilleen got out at the first half of last season, if they can become more consistent with that form, I think they could be much better. I like the signing of Milanovic up front for Aberdeen as well. I think he looks pretty tasty.
The only thing that worries me just about Aberdeen and what put me off was the fact that that was his first stint as manager, so you had that new manager bounce, but then obviously second half of the season was horrible. It was shocking, like it was terrible. And obviously you look at how bad Hibs were in the first half of the season and how they then got themselves into the mix, so that's what sort of dented my but they won the cup as well. So,
but yeah, I was going to say that their confidence going into the summer break will be sky high, having just won the trophy. So I'll put them in fourth and Hibs in fifth. I've got St Mirren in sixth, purely for the reason that the other 6 teams below them aren't as good. But when I said at the start, there's sort of 3 main debates. It's first and second. It's then Hearts, Aberdeen, Hibs in third, and then it's the bottom 3: Falkirk, Livy, Dundee, are the 3 discussion points. That leaves the other 4 teams of St Mirren, United, Motherwell, and Killie as to who's getting that top 6. And I do think that any of those 4, Motherwell probably the weakest, but I think any of those 4 have a decent shout at getting in 6th. Anyway, I'll not digress much further. St Mirren in 6th, Killie in 7th, United in 8th, Motherwell in 9th, Falkirk in 10th, purely because I love John McGlynn and I've got a thing for Scott Bain as well now, and Livy in 11th and Dundee last. So it's pretty similar to yours, I think, Andrew. 1 or 2 changes.
The bottom 3 are pretty much the same. Well, the bottom 4 are actually bottom 4 are pretty much the same, and then there's a couple that are sort of only flitting a place here and there, but it's hard to disagree with you. Obviously, both of you have gone for Celtic to win the league. Obviously, I'm saying that they won't, purely based on like fucking 400 rolls of the dice, basically. So I struggle to disagree with that. Like, I really do. But it's interesting what you said about St Mirren creeping into the top six. I just think it would be. I think it would just be really shite if St Mirren crept into the top six for the reasons that you've said. You know, the amount of strength that is there below them. Obviously, I was trying to be optimistic to say that United might be strong enough to kind of keep them out. But I mean, aside from that, like, I have to agree with you. You know, Killie, Motherwell, Falkirk, Livy, Dundee. I don't see any of them creeping into the top six at all. Like, I just can't. And
I think
that's a shame.
Between St Mirren, Killie, United, and Motherwell, we've all got them finishing between 6th and 9th. It's just, and I agree with what Matthew said earlier. Between those 4 teams, it's pretty nip and tuck. Like, you wouldn't be surprised if any of them finished 6th. I don't think. Maybe Motherwell's, like I say, the biggest upset if they finish 6th.
On the well.
But if Killie finished 6th, or St Mirren did, or United did, it's not like, oh shit, that what an achievement, or what a turn up for the books. It's just one of those, any one of those 4 teams can do it. I just think that last season United finished where we did purely down to Sam Dalby, and we've only really got one striker in Zach Sapsford, who's come in from Australia, who's a similar type of player, in the box kind of poacher. And it's a roll of the dice whether or not he's going to work. And if he doesn't, we don't really have goals coming from anywhere else on the pitch. Defensively, we've kept a lot of our squad, which is good, but midfield's a bit powder puff as well.
That's
so
fair.
Yeah, I just can't see us getting 6th. Towards the second half of last season, we didn't look like a 6th place team, or well, we finished 4th. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. Like, it's pretty nip and tuck with the projections there. The only thing I would say is, I don't see, looking at the sort of bottom 6, or like, let's just say, you know, from 6 downwards, you know, so the bottom 7, if you like. I don't see Dundee United sacking the manager. I know Matthew disagrees with that. I don't see that. I don't see St Mirren sacking the manager. I don't see Falkirk sacking the manager. I don't see Livingston sacking the manager. But Dundee up for grabs, Motherwell up for grabs, Killie up for grabs. And I think that depending on how that rolls out and how that is managed is going to really depend on how they go. Obviously, Dundee are the hot talking point. You know, if they don't make decisions quickly, Christ knows like how bad it could be for them this season. But someone like Kilmarnock and Motherwell, you know, it is a bit of a flip of a coin as to how they're going to pan out. For me, I just don't think Motherwell are going to have a strong season at all. Which is a shame, because when they were performing well, you know, especially under Robinson, you know, they were a team that you thought would be creeping into the top 6 maybe consistently, you know, or edging kind of towards that. Now they're a different animal. They've gone through a couple of managers, so if Askew doesn't get it right, you know, Motherwell's recruitment really needs to be sort of looked at, you know, from a managerial perspective, because I know the last one didn't leave by their fault. It was more for personal reasons, but still, you know, that's then Kettlewell to a very, very short interim appointment, which was a permanent appointment, to then Askew, you know, so they need to get this one right.
And again, we've said it loads in this podcast, and time will tell if they have got that right. They'll be the weakest of those 4 middle teams, I think. Matthew, any final thoughts on those league table predictions, or are you busy scrolling through WWF Wikipedia pages?
No. Again, I think 6th place is up for grabs. So I mean, who knows if it's Motherwell or Killie or St Mirren or Dundee United. But one thing I know for sure is that Falkirk will be bottom, and that's a fact.
Hating on the Falkirk fans yet again, starting more beef. Right, we've got the 12 nailed down, and we'll revisit that, like I say, in about 9 months' time to see who was most on the money. Moving on to top scorer then, top goal scorer, Golden Boot winner. I said it a few weeks ago, so I'll kick off. I was going to change, but that's a bit sneaky. I'll stick with Lawrence Shankland to be top goal scorer. I think he'll be played in a front two, whether it's with Kabangu, whether it's with James Wilson, or their new boy, is it Vargas or something? Braga, sorry, yeah. Whoever's playing with him, I think he'll be the guy that's putting the ball in the onion bag most often. Matthew, any difference of opinion?
Yes, I think the top goal scorer will be someone born in Kirkcaldy, and his name's Kieran Bowie. Great, very excited up and coming Scottish striker from Kirkcaldy. Proud of my
Where's he
fellow Kirkcaldy man. He'll be top goal scorer, and he'll get a move to Bournemouth in the summer for £15
Top
million.
goal scorer finishing fourth, you had them, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, but he'll bang the goals in, mate. Doesn't mean they're gonna.
Yeah, no, it's not impossible. Dalby and Simon Murray were in the mix for top goal scorer last season, and they finished fairly far down the league. Andrew?
Yeah, not Kieran Bowie. It just depends on how this window's going to finish up. But if we stay with who we've got at the moment, I'll say Dessers again. I think that if he is getting better service and the style of football that Martin's wanting to play, I think he'll actually only put more chances away. I think he got a lot of stick last season. Certainly not from me. I never give him any stick. But I think he got a lot of stick last season because he was one of the only points of attack or a goal threat for Rangers. So I think now with the signings that have come in there, they seem very positive and very sort of attacking minded, a lot of them, Gassama, Asgard, etc. I do think that he'll thrive there and probably actually score more under less pressure. So if he stays, which is a big if, because I know he's meant to be away, I'll say Dessers.
Got Dessers, Shankland, and Kieran Bowie of... Where's he from? Somewhere in...
Kirkcaldy, mate.
Kirkcaldy.
Dunfermline.
No, that's Stevie Crawford.
Stevie Crawford to be Golden Boot winner. Player to watch then. Andrew, not heard from you first.
I'm going to say
who's your man?
Kizaridis from Hearts is what I'm going to say.
He's copied mine. That's not fair.
Numbers are great, and I'd only think that if he's been a Tony Bloom signing, that's meant to fit into a certain system, which I don't think will have been the case, so meticulously recruited in the past. I think his numbers will only get better, and so I think a lot of assists, few goals in there. I think he'll be an impressive attacking threat.
Yeah, I've been listening to a Hearts podcast, the Hearts Standard, I think it's called. They had an episode fully dedicated just to Kiridis, and they've obviously done their research because they're full-time jambos, and they're saying he's quick, he's direct, comes inside a lot, so he's not your out and out winger that hugs the touchline and just gets balls in. So I think that link up with Shankland, who's probably going to play left of the two, will be amazing. I think that Hearts front line generally is looking really, really strong in depth. They've got loads of options. So he was going to be mine. Yeah, 21 goals and assists for Zeppelin in Slovakia last season. Came on a free as well. Really smart bit of business.
All the business has been really, really smart. You look at the amount of money they've actually spent. It's really impressive.
I'll change it up just to because I had another one prepped. Not to the same level, but I'll go boring and go old firm and say Benjamin Nygren. I think he will be a star, especially if Celtic do lose Maeda. I think Nygren will have a lot of the pressure put on his shoulders.
He's a leader as well,
obviously, but yeah,
he was captain at his last team, and they got him for a snip. So really good bit of business for Celtic there.
Yeah, really smart. There'll be a bit of sell on from him, I can imagine, in a few seasons once he's banged in a few goals. Matthew?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go Kusini Yengi from Aberdeen, striker they've brought in from Portsmouth. Albeit he didn't score much last season, but he got 9 the season before last. Looks like a unit. I think he'll help power Aberdeen to a top 5, wherever I put them, 4th, 5th.
You put them 5th, mate. Yeah,
mate,
player to watch, going to finish 5th.
I think he'll get a few goals for that Aberdeen side. They need a striker. think if they can get the supply to him, he'll be good. And I also think Harry Milne for Hearts has had a good start to the League Cup campaign. A player that came through the lower leagues. Didn't have I think he was injured a lot last season, but he looks like a good left back, getting the assists from the set pieces and getting good crosses in the box for Hearts. Who are going to go quite old school, I'd imagine, with the full backs getting forward, getting balls in the box. So he could get a few assists this season for the many attacking options for Hearts.
Big boots to fill there as well, so it's really impressive that they've managed to get someone with, to hit the ground running there. So yeah, that's good.
I think as just one final player I had written down was not like a new signing or anything, but James Wilson. Everyone was raving about him at the start of last season because he scored, I think, an Edinburgh Derby goal, didn't he? And got a lot of headlines, and there was a lot of pressure put on him. Oh, he's the new Scotland striker. He's age 18, got a call up to the national team. And I don't think he was played properly last year. I don't think he was. You know what it's like when there's a spotlight put on a player at that young age. They need to sparkle every game for them to live up to the hype. I think this season, again, playing alongside Shankland, when Shankland's firing on all cylinders, he's got good supply from either side. A lot of defenders will be taken away by those players. You'll find more space. I think I could be shooting myself in the foot by saying Shankland to be top goal scorer, because I think the goals could be quite evenly spread between those two.
I think probably not, just because of the experience, But I do agree. I think he'll have a really good season, and Shankland had a bad season last season just purely because of the bad managerial appointment Hearts made, and they just didn't get it right, So now they have got it right, and the recruitment's going well. Yeah, you're right. Those two are going to be getting plenty of service, and they seem to be a good sort of yin and yang, if you like, with the style of Shankland, and then adversely Wilson. So, I agree with you. I think he's one to watch, definitely. And
our final prediction for the season is the first gaffer to go, ending on a negative note. It could be, I don't want to speak too soon, but it could just be predicting, instead of which manager, it's going to be what month or what week, what day he's going to go. Countdown to Brexit is on. I'll go first. First gaffer to go is going to be Stephen Presley. Move on. Matthew?
Goodwin, Jim Goodwin. Gone first.
Okay. 6-0 defeat to FC Unistrassen.
I mean, obviously it'll be surely Presley, but it'll be close. Between Goodwin and him.
Okay, one for each of the Dundee teams. Andrew, are you Goodwin or Presley?
I think Brendan Rodgers should last the whole season. It'll be Presley for me. I'd be surprised by the time you've done the editing on this if he's still in post. But Presley for me. Askew would be second though for me. I'm not overly convinced about that appointment, and
come on,
there's nothing really on that CV that's really standing out to me as a positive appointment there, and they already got it wrong after Kettlewell as well. The Kettlewell situation you couldn't really saw coming, but after that they got it wrong, and I think they've got it wrong again. So I'll say Presley first, but I'll say Askew before Christmas.
Wow, that's your lot. That's all the predictions wrapped up. We've got League 2, League 1 Championship, Premiership, and a host of other side bets on the go. So, exciting stuff. 25-26 season kicks off this Friday, is it? The first game, is it a Friday night game? Or is it Saturday?
So, yeah. No, I think you're right. I'll actually have to double check that, but yeah.
Probably should have known that. That's Tinpot from the three of us.
Statement, isn't it? Yeah, just straight out without being too confident.
Saturday, the 2nd of August at 1500 is the first game.
It's not
this
even
Saturday.
Friday, mate.
No championship.
Killie versus Livy, a repeat of the cup game from a few weeks ago. Anyway, that's us. It's time for some quizzing, I think.
In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever, that world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield, Or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever. Get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
The scores after last week are 24 points to Andrew and 12 to Matthew. After
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that double? Double.
12 times 1 is 12, times 2 is 24. 24, yep, that's double.
Yeah, that's double, yeah.
Matthew's
Interesting.
got a lot of clawing back to do, and Matthew did start last week, so it's Andrew to start this time.
Okay, well, I was ambitious last time and I went away, so I'm going to go home this time.
Going to go home this time, okay.
Yeah.
Swedish defender with 94 caps and 6 goals. Clue 1.
Swedish defender, 94 caps, 6 goals. Okay, so...
That's very minstrelsy from you there. Goals.
Ooh, Avalanche. Got a couple to write down here then, so... Could be either.
This is what you need to do, Matthew. Andrew writes like essays down here. You need to be getting your head in the game. Get a notepad and pen.
It's all in here, mate.
Well, clearly not.
Out here. Nah, I've given up, mate.
Was he Swedish or not?
Scolmwit.
Celtic have had a few Swedish players. Do you know what? I'm just gonna fucking go for it.
Gonna go for it.
I'm double my points anyway, so why not? But I'm gonna say Mikael Lustig.
Could have been Johan Mjällby, or was it Larsson? Larsson, was he Swedish or was he Danish?
Ulrik Larsson. He was Danish.
I remember. Anyway, Mikael Lustig was the correct answer. Out of all the Swedish defenders you could have had, you got him.
Thank you very
3
much.
points straight off the bat.
I wouldn't have
20...
gone that bold if the lead wasn't so big, but the lead is really
12
big,
now.
so it's massive now.
When does
Huge
Matt
lead.
throw in the towel? I mean, might be soon. Right, you're gonna need something big here, buddy boy.
Just gonna go home, mate. Try and get some confidence. You know what? I'm never gonna get away.
You're not gonna bridge the gap doing it this way, are you?
It's over, mate.
You're right. You should do that. I think you should.
I'm
That's
battered
what
and
I
I'm
would do.
bloodied, and I need to get a confidence boost and winning
Get
off the
some
arse. You
wins.
know.
That's
Okay.
it.
Need to get a goal.
Clue 1 worth 3 points.
For God's
If guessed
sake.
correctly at this stage.
Get it wrong.
An Aussie defender with 22 caps and 0 goals.
Tough. It's tough, mate.
Gut instinct. Go. Just give a name.
Ooh, I've got one.
Aussie defender, 20. Okay, Ryan McGowan. Boom. Job's done.
3 points. Well
Yes,
done.
come on. I heard him on
Nice.
Sports the other day. Actually, he was on talking about Stephen Presley. Funnily enough.
That's your first 3 points in about 4 weeks, isn't it?
Mate,
Come
that's
on.
Maybe
incredible.
longer.
That was straight
Well
out
done.
of the traps. That
No hanging
That
about.
was-
He who
I
hangeth
wrote-
boot getteth hee-haw.
I wrote down Harry Suter, but didn't
Another
even get to Ryan
fucking
McGowan.
Scottish-born traitor.
Yeah.
Nailed it. So it's 27 points to 15 now to
Woohoo.
Andrew.
So I'm not quite doubling you now.
So
So,
say next week Andrew gets his wrong on the first guess, then I get it right. That'll be 3 points if he goes home, and then I guess my first away. I'll get 6 points. That's 9 points. So then I'll close the gap to only like 3 points. Is that right?
that's it.
Nice.
That's the way points work, mate, yeah.
I'll think about that for next week, mate.
It's kind of all you think about,
That's
isn't
probably the sharpest round we've ever had.
I've
Maybe
given
it?
that's
Yeah, I
it
the
mean,
way to
like
go.
week one were pretty quick. I
playing
think.
well when there's no pressure, you know, when you're already relegated. You just sort of lap it out.
That's class. Well done. That was a good one. I don't think I would have got round to McGowan actually. So
Yeah, well done
Well
to you
done.
both. And well done to our listeners for sticking by us through 120 minutes-ish of podcast action.
Get that cut.
We'll be back again next week to dissect the first weekend's fixtures, something we've all been looking forward to since we launched this pod 10 weeks ago. The time is nigh. And until then, have a dangerously good week. See you later.
Peace.
Bye.